Hello everyone!
My name is Aiden and I'm from 6424 Holy Cow.
My name is Charles, I'm from 8548 Barely Functioning.
And we are the mentors for the BWTLink Art Reverse Engineering Summer Camp.
In this camp, we mentor students as they build high-level competition robots from scratch. They were encouraged to reverse engineer different components found on the robot.
In addition, we also showed them many videos of clever mechanical systems for them to study, such as the pen setter machine. All this helped them understand how engineers in the real world use mechanical principles and techniques to get around design limitations.
We went through many trials and tribulations throughout the process, but we got around them and had fun.
We're so excited for you to see everything that our students have learned over the course of this camp. Enjoy.
Max, and I am from the FL team 69216 Thai Marine X. And today I will be talking about the claw here. So this claw is powered by the string, which is attached to the servo down here, which has a spool. And there is a carbon fiber tube, which this string runs through to prevent it from wrapping around and then getting stuck. And we use the string because it would be a lot lighter than if we just put the servo here, because there's going to be a leverage and it would be a lot heavier. And since this pitch is also powered by string, the string might slip because it's so heavy here. And another thing about our arm is that it has a roll, so it can roll from like this, so it can like grab the samples at different angles. At the tip of our claw, we have these rubber bands and this foam piece to provide grip on the samples, and it would be a lot better than just the carbon fiber. And so how this works is that the string is tied here, and then once the string gets pulled down by the servo, the claw closes. And then once the servo lets go, the rubber band here will pull the claw back open. So here's a demo of how a claw will work. So it can like come here and then grab the specimen at an angle, and then take it up, and then it can flip around and then hook it wherever it needs to be hooked on.
I'm Nariksh and I'm from 18225 High Definition, and I will be talking about the slides on this robot. We use a 5-pin servo to power these Cascade rig slides. We use Cascade rigging instead of continuous rigging to ensure faster extension. We used a set of pulleys to ensure string tension by making sure that retraction and extension string are the same length. This is ensured by making sure that the tangent point from each string to the pulley is the exact same. We also have extra string taped onto the pulleys so that if we ever needed to cut off a knot from the stringing, we could easily replace it with the extra string we had. We also have this plate on top for structural integrity. And using a badge in the future, using a badge holder, we would zigzag our wires to the end effectors so that we had easy and clean wire management.
Hi, my name is Ken Y from the FTC team 1138 Robo Eclipse, and I'm talking about the dog clutch. Since we wanted to reduce the amount of electronics on the robot, we didn't want to use any motors other than the 4 already on the drivetrain. So we used two 3D printed dog clutches right here that engages just before the robot hangs, so the robot can utilize the power of the 2 rear drive motors to lift the robot off the ground, effectively removing the need an extra motor or an expansion hub. The dog clutch is locked like this when the robot is initialized and uses this servo before it climbs to lift this lock up, and there's 2 springs that help engage the dog clutches. One issue we had though was that sometimes this pulley the string would often come off of this pulley, so we added this small plastic part with a hole in it to help guide the string.
Hello, my name is Ethan Wong, and I am from Team 24175 Ducky Duckies. First, I will be giving a short overview of the whole robot, then I'll talk about our drivetrain. Our robot consists of 4 motors and 6 servos for other subsystems, which include a claw, slides, and hang mechanism. In order for the servos to have enough power to power their respective subsystems, we employed clever mechanical tricks to allow the subsystem to function, which we'll expand more on later. It also includes a hanging mechanism with hooks and string, the arm slides, and the claw. We designed it so we didn't have to waste motors, and thus allowed us to save space with only a control hub. Both the control hub and the battery are on the bottom, which prevents it from interfering with other functions of the robot. Now I'll be talking about the drivetrain. We use the mechanism drivetrain, but use the mechanism wheels shown here. And how it works is that it can basically go in all directions. Back, forward, side to side, diagonal, whatever. We initially faced some problems with the spacing. This could like go forward or backwards, and it could be some wobbly, a little bit wobbly. So we had to custom cut carbon fiber to make sure the spacing would be correct. This is because carbon fiber is very lightweight but a very strong material. 12 to 29 times stronger than aluminum parts by being 40 to 50% lighter than it. However, it is not very cheap, and it can be about 15 times more expensive than aluminum. Next, we will be talking about the slides.
My name is Kane Zhang, and I am on FL Team 61770 Oldie Sparks. So this is our level 3 endgame ascent mechanism. So you can see this, there's a pivot arm, which is powered by one servo. It's supposed to be like this. When it lowers to a set point, which is about right here, we can use these hook arms, which are powered by servo, to move down here to get into this latch. While this motion is being done, you can also see at the back, there is a dog clutch. So when that happens, when this motion happens, it releases this lock, which engages the dog clutch. And then we will, it should be like this, and then it will raise the linear slide, like just like so, to about something tall, and then we'll pretend this is the bar. You'll hook onto here, and then we'll put this back down, and then we'll use our dog clutch, which is now engaged, and we will climb. And I'd also like to mention how we string our hooks. These are trying the dog clutch through a series of pulleys. These pulleys make sure these go smoothly. And this is the string is perfectly in the middle, so when it's gonna raise it, it's gonna be balanced.
Through this BWTLink gearbox, this servo controls the hook delivery. In the meantime, the hook pulls the string and lifts the dog clutch lock. By using this BWTLink everything bearing and the 7mm hex adapter, this servo is connected to the channel and control these two sets of gears. With this gears design, this servo can easily control the whole intake and delivery systems. This board works like a guider to guide those wires, and also security these two channels make the whole tower stable. This servo mount here is not only for easy control this forearms rotation by using these wires, but also for secure the two sets of slide parallel and stable. These two sets of 14 inches slides are controlled by this 5-turn servo and the Cascade rigging. The end of the wire is tightened by two 2.5mm screws. The whole wiring, you can see here, pretty stable and tight enough without any spring. The fingers of the claw is controlled by the thread. This thread goes through this hole, through this carbon fiber tube, and then connect to this pulley controlled by this servo. Wiring is the headache thing. Here is our solution. We use a retractable keychain to manage the wires. So here is a copper wire to tighten the several wires, and on the other end, make sure there's like a ring that help the wire can easily move up and down through the string. In order to easily manage the wires, we recommend using this yellow and orange servo wires because this type of wire is pretty soft, so you can bend at anywhere you want. So those whole wires works like the window blinds, so they easily move the wire up and down. This is the back view of the Cascade slides. Each end of thread has 2 screws. The first screw is used to adjust the tightness of the thread. The second screw to secure the first screw won't be loose when there's a force happen on the thread. And the tape, just put the extra length of the end of thread, attach on the pulley just in case we need to adjust the thread rather than cutting the end. And this is the 1-1 pulley, and this wire is to push out the slide. This one is for retract the slide. This X-shaped board guides the wires and also make sure the 2 sets of slide parallel and stable. Using this BWTLink 7mm hex adapter as a shaft collar to make sure the 2 sets of slide secure and parallel. When this dog clutch lock is released, these 2 dog clutch gear attached to the motor of back wheel, and then borrow those 2 motors to lift the robot itself without extra motors. Here is a pieces of metal on the hook, and on the hook holder there are 2 magnets and help secure and easy hold the hook and then easy release. Here is how to reset the wire. And then push the wire into this tube. That's it. This piece of wire is made from memorable string. When this end touch on the ground, the wire will go back, and when the fingers go face down, the gravity of this wire should let the wire go down. The purpose of this wire is used to rotate this sample like this, and then we can grab this sample easily without using actual servo to turn the finger or hold the robot. By redesigning this finger, this claw can be used to pick up the pixels. So here's the tricky thing. There's 2 layers of a rubber band. This one has the sponge or something, make it a bit higher than this one. So this claw can grab 2 pixels stacked together, and this claw can grab the stacked pixels. When dropping the pixel on the board, open the finger slowly in the first small stage. The first one drop, and then fully open the finger, the second one drop. With this design, we don't need the actual servo to control each of the pixel dropping.